What are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1988 movie Oliver and Company. So this is an animated version of Charles Dickens' Oliver Twist with a twist to it. A lot of the characters are animals in this movie. In this movie, Oliver, a homeless kitten, joins a gang of dogs to survive the streets, and eventually he ends up meeting this little girl that becomes his owner, and he ends up having to choose between staying with his owner or living a life on the streets with the dogs. This movie is a lot of fun. I absolutely love it. The story is pretty good. The animation is great. It holds up really, really well. Some of the best animation out of the Dark Ages for sure, and out of the 80s Disney movies. Although I think the one that came out next had the best animation out of the 80s Disney movies. But this one is still pretty good. And this was one of the precursors to the Disney Renaissance, where the new people were taking over at Disney and stuff. And everything. The first one was The Great Mouse Detective, and then this one, before Little Mermaid, really kind of started the Renaissance. But this movie is a lot of fun. It has a lot of really good music in here too, although most of the songs aren't as catchy as the big song that is known from this movie, Why Should I Worry, which is performed by Billy Joel, who does the voice of Dodger. And I just absolutely love that song. It's been one of my favorite Disney songs ever since I was a kid and everything. I just absolutely love it. It's very catchy, and can't help but love that song. And everything. The soundtrack is really good. And holy crap. I was just looking on here at the thing for this movie and everything, and it says James Mangold is one of the screenplay writers. That's freaking cool. So he's been around way longer than I thought. He didn't start till the 90s, so he's at least been writing stuff since the late 80s and everything. I did not know that he helped write this movie. That's a really cool little fun fact that I didn't know about. But the voice cast is great. Everybody does great in here. That has an all-star cast with Joey Lawrence as Oliver, Billy Joel as Dodger, Dom DeLuise as Fagin, and many, many more people. There's a lot of really good people in this movie. Bette Midler, Cheech Marin, Robert Mulligan, Roscoe Lee Brown, just a bunch of really good people. A lot of great actors and stuff in this movie. And everybody does a great job in here. So I enjoy the voice acting. The animation, like I said, is great. The story is really good. The songs, aside from Why Should I Worry, are just kind of meh. They're not very memorable. They're not terrible songs or anything. They don't like slow down the movie or anything. They just aren't as memorable. Although the opening song, Once Upon a Time in New York City, is a pretty catchy song. I like that one and everything. But I enjoy Oliver and Company. I'm not the biggest fan of the Oliver Twist story. It's not necessarily one of my favorite books. We read it in middle school and everything, and I thought the book was okay. I've seen movie versions of it, and this one is actually probably my favorite version, to be honest. I just really enjoy this version of the story and everything better than I do most versions. And maybe that's the nostalgia too, because like I said, this has been one that I used to watch a lot as a kid, and this is the only one out of the ones that everybody says is a really underrated movie and stuff that I actually feel is very underrated. and everything, because if this would have came out a couple years later, it would have been part of the Disney Renaissance, and it's just as good as some of the Disney Renaissance movies, maybe even better than some of them. Like I said, it's a really good time, and this is also one of the first Disney movies that featured a lot of real world tie-ins. This movie was set in modern day New York and everything, and I thought that was kind of a cool setting for this movie and everything, instead of having it set in London like the normal Oliver Twist story. But yeah, this is a lot of fun and a really good movie, so I definitely would recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's one of Disney's most underrated movies, and one of their best. Like I said, this is the only one out of the animated ones that I've seen. I haven't seen Strange World yet, so that one I might think is underrated too, but I don't normally agree with people on the ones that are underrated being underrated, because most of them I think are failed because they just weren't necessarily great movies and everything. But this is one of the ones I feel like is actually a great movie that did deserve more love and everything. So like The Fox and the Hound came out in the 80s and went like it was a moderate hit and everything. That was a movie that I absolutely loved and everything. I don't really think it's underrated or overrated. I think it's just a really great one. And this one is a really great one too. Pretty solid movie and everything. So I definitely would recommend it to people who haven't seen it. So anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Oliver and Company. And I hope you enjoy this video, and have a good day, everybody.